Last standard of this unit G9, you're going to learn how to apply the formulas for the volume of cones, cylinders, and spheres. Terms and formulas. A sphere is a perfectly rounded three-dimensional object. A cylinder is a three-dimensional object with two identical circles, one on the top, one on the bottom. A great example would be a Coke can. A great example of a sphere would be a ball of some sorts. And then a cone is a three-dimensional object with a circle on one end and a vertex on the other. And if you will look, these formulas look similar. A cone is 1/3 of a cylinder. And that should be pi r squared times h, not 2. Find the appropriate area of the base. Okay, so if I'm looking at a cone, when you're taking the milestones, the actual formula will not be given to you. It'll be big B H. But what I would suggest to do is just memorize these. Volume equals 1/3 pi r squared times h. And think about it. Pi r squared is the area of a circle. Okay? Times the height. That's easy. And what you got to remember is a cylinder is a third of a cone is a third of a cylinder. Now let's plug it in. Volume equals 1/3 pi times 4 to the second power times 6. Order of operations. Volume equals 1/3 pi times 16 times 6. And I'm going to say 3.14 for pi, 3.14 times 16 times 6. And I get volume equals 1/3 times 301 and 44 hundredths. Now, divide that by 3, and I get volume is approximately 148 hundredths cubic centimeters. Now, do you see how I've written it? This might remind you of what we did last year in the 6th grade standards with volume. Same rules apply with the 8th grade standards. If you just fill in the formula, it's a glorified algebraic expression, and it will be very easy for you. Cylinder. Okay? The formula for a cylinder is volume equals pi r squared times h. Now, in this case, I'm going to say r is 10. So we're going to say volume equals pi times 10 squared times 24. Volume equals pi times 100 times 24. And then I just multiply across. 3.14 times 100 times 24. And I get volume equals 7,536 cubic inches. Do you see how easy that was? All you have to do is plug in the formula and follow the order of operations, and volume in 8th grade will be one of the easier concepts you'll learn. Now, the volume of a sphere is volume equals 4 over 3 times pi r to the third power. Now, this is a hemisphere. A hemisphere is half of a sphere. So we will come back to this part later. Right now, I just want to plug this in and solve, and I will come back to the hemisphere and say, let's treat this just like a sphere. So volume equals 4 to the third power times pi times 36 to the third power. 36 to the third power. 46,656. Multiply that by 3.14. I get Now, multiply that by 4 and divide by 3. And you get volume equals 195,333 and 12 hundredths. And that is cubic feet. Now, here's the deal. I am not finished. That is the volume if that was a sphere. This is not a sphere, it is a hemisphere. So once I get to the very bottom, all I have to do is divide that by 2, and I get volume equals 97,666 and 56 hundredths, and that is cubic feet.